Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and the workshop here at Rathbone Manor. And today I'm going to be showing you my small collection of vices. Some of them were owned by my late father. This is something very similar to what my late father owned. It's a Record No1. Yeah, let's just start with the small one, shall we? Okay, so what we have here is a small unbranded Vise here, once owned by my late father. Don't know why he bought one this small, I'm sure, but he obviously thought it would be handy at some point. But to be honest, I don't think he has ever used it. What size is this little fellow? Let's have a look, shall we? Just over an inch. Blimey, there's a small one. I mounted it on this little piece of wood here so that I could clamp it into a larger vise and use it. I'm not exactly sure what use a tiny little vise like this is to anybody, but I'm sure it can get hold of some small little bits like so. So you could just about make use of it, I guess. Way back in the depths of time, probably 1980-ish, I would have thought, I purchased this little vise for myself because my late father wouldn't let me use either this vise, this little Imp number 80. He wouldn't let me use this one, and nor would he let me use his Record No1. So basically I had to purchase my own. This is, as you can see, little Draper. It's entirely made of alloy, apart from the shaft here and the handle and the threaded bit here and the little clamping plate there, but it's basically all alloy, as you can see looking down here. It's just a cheap little thing. I've actually used it a time or two in the past, as you can see right there, the signs of usage on it all over it, look. And this one just clamps onto your workbench like so. You do up the little thumb wheel there like so. Clamps it on nice and tightly. It rattles around a little bit. You can see this part of the jaw moves out, unlike most vices where you've got this part of the jaw moves. So if I went far enough, I dare say it'd fall off the end. Yeah, so there we go. All falls apart like so. Slide it back on again. Hopefully get it back together again. So there we go, a little small inexpensive vise that rattles rather well by the sounds of things that I had to purchase myself because I say, you know, father wouldn't let me anywhere near his vices. And then at some time in the 1990s I was visiting, or Mrs. Rathbone and I were visiting a car boot sale, and I came across this little fellow on one of the stalls, and I think it's fairly obvious why I picked this one up, because it looks like my late father's Record Imp a little bit. It's quite heavy. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but maybe £8. I can't remember now. But again, this one clamps on to your workbench, and we also have fixing points here, here and here, and just here. But this one's broken off. So you actually physically screw it down to your workbench. So just tighten it up like so. It attaches quite nicely to the bench, quite firm and quite strong. This one also has the facility to loosen this off here. I think it's probably trapped in by the bench now. Yes, it is. Hang on, I'll get it loose. Okay, I managed to get it a little bit loose. And the idea behind this is you can actually rotate the vise around on its axis like so, lock it off again, nice and firmly there. And we also have a small anvil here. As I say, that's what attracted me to it. The colour is the same as my late father's Record Imp. As you can see, style is very similar, and so we have a little anvil on both, which is, as I say, something I quite like about it. And the size is more or less the same too, but I don't think it's anywhere near the quality of the Record Imp, but it is quite heavy. If we can just lock it off again, we can see the jaw moves out, and this is quite smooth actually. This runs quite smoothly. We have smooth jaws in here, there's no little teeth in there or anything. It runs quite nicely. Could do with another drop of oil, I think. I haven't used it in a long time. I used to use it quite a lot at my old house where we used to live before I started doing videos. Yes, this was my go-to Vise at the time. That's the only decent Vise that I actually had. It's got a few breakages on it though. Okay, so the this mounting lug is broken off, and it looks like I've put a file over it just to tidy it up. It should have had one of these like that, and I believe there's a bit of a chunk out. Oh yeah, you can see where it's been very well used by a previous owner. So this thing's had some use to it, and all these little holes make it difficult to line the top up, but you can actually, you know, this section here, but you can line it up with where you want it on the bench. See, it's just a little bit that protrudes through the hole here. There we are, a little pin in there, look. So it could do with a bit of a clean up. Tighten it up again. We have two pins in the back and the threaded bar there. I guess it would have looked quite nice back in the day when it was new, because it would have been nicely red here, black just here and black just here as well. That's not a bad little Vise. As I say, I used it for a number of years before he passed away. My late father let me have his made in England Record Imp number 80. This is a very nice little Vise, is this, very well made. It's got some signs of usage here. Don't know who'd be drilling holes just there. Oh, I see, there's some just there as well. What that's all about then? Haven't noticed that before. It's a very nice little Vise. Once again, it clamps onto the bench like thusly. This one also has the facility to screw it to the bench. There's a hole this side and there's a hole the other side as well, so you can put some countersunk screws in there just to make sure it's nice and firmly attached to the bench. If you've seen enough of my videos here in the workshop over the years, you've actually seen that I use this quite a lot. This runs quite nicely. It's got in here we have little teeth in the jaws, so that's nice. They're screwed on, so they could be replaced if you could get some more replacements. Just here we have the facility for bending some small rod. In fact, there's a little plate just here, so if we screw it up, you can see how the two mate up quite nicely here. In fact, if I get some copper strip here, namely this stuff here, which is 3mm in diameter, I think that'll fit in there very nicely. Let's have a look. So just place that in there like that. You could put it the other way up as well. But once it's in there like so, you can then bend it. Simply pull it round to the little former here, like so, and we get a very nice little loop out of it. Nice, look at that. And of course, let's not forget the little anvil on the top. I've recently been watching Ben, because Ben on Tool Addicts got one of these, and he showed you can actually take this out. I didn't know you could get this bit out of here, to be honest with you. This one on mine doesn't appear to want to come out. I've tried these little mole grips here, but I don't want to damage it too much. I guess it will need a drop of penetrating oil in there, or plus gas or something to get it out. But my late father would never let me use this little Vise for anything, because he always thought if you hit it with a hammer it would shatter. Well, it doesn't. I've got a fairly largish hammer here. Not much sign of shattering going on there, Pops. I do apologise about the noise from the boiler, but it's just kicked in to heat the water up, I guess. This little Vise was sent in by a viewer last year. It's quite a nice one. It's a little PS&W. Let's get it up the right way. USA, made in the USA. Again, this is another little one you can actually clamp onto your worktop, like so. Secure it down very nicely there. And again, like my little blue Draper, you can see it's this jaw here that moves out. This one's particularly loose, as you can see, and I believe there are some other bits missing from it. I would say there is a spring missing out of it just here, probably a spring and a washer maybe, or at least a washer, because it's very, very loose. Probably a little spring maybe in there. And the jaws are exceptionally loose too, as you can see. Look at that. Now, it could very well be that this part of the jaw here has become widened over time, because he's quite old, I believe. Oops. And so it doesn't fit on there properly so well anymore. And so we can just about see there's a pin in here, and I think there should be possibly something more in there. So we could take that pin out, get a spring and a washer. It's a bit loose, but I feel sure we could fix this up if we spent a little time on it. Get it all back together again. There is a humongous amount of free play on here, look. I don't know whether there's something missing out of there, but yeah. Lastly, here we have my Record No1. Again, made in England. My late father had one of these, as I said in my video when I fitted this onto the bench here last week. My late father had one of these that was taken from his garage by persons unknown, which is, I guess, a bit naughty, a bit of a shame, because I would have liked it myself. But yeah, so I managed to clean this one up quite nicely. Again, we have the nice teeth in the jaws here. That's quite nice. I've been using it, so it's got a few little bits and pieces here on it. Runs very nicely now I've lubed it up, because when I first got it, it was quite rusty, and there was parts missing from it, namely a spring missing from under here. And yeah, so it's quite rusty and a bit horrible in that, and I've just cleaned it up. I haven't done a respray on it or anything like that there, because basically what I wanted it to look like was just the same as my father's looked like this. Slightly used, because he'd obviously used it a few times, shall we say. So I thought, I came across this one at the car boot sale, £4, because it wasn't working properly, but it is now. It's a very nice little Vise actually. I haven't really made use of it just yet, but I'm sure I can remedy that in the near future. But I think a time or two I've seen fathers just laying on the floor of his garage many years ago, and I went in there looking for it one day and it had gone. So somebody'd had that away, didn't they? But there we are. Okay then, so that's my collection thus far of Vices. What are my favourites here? Well, obviously I like this thing here because it belonged to Dad. Very nice is that one. I do like that one a lot actually. My second favourite so far is the little No1 here, again because Father had one. This is another favourite of mine because I used it for so many years in my old workshop back in the day. Still works, a little bit rough, could do with a clean up, could do with a paint up I guess, but it still does the business. It needs a bit of a lubrication I guess. There's this thing I had to use back in the day, back in 1980, before I managed to get out of a decent Vise, shall we say. This is just alloy. But yeah, so they're my favourites, that one and that one. So just let me know which your favourite of this lot is. Okay then, well I hope you enjoyed popping over to the workshop here at Rathbone Manor to take a look at my collection of Vices. I don't think I've got any more about that I know of, but you can guarantee something will turn up as soon as I finished editing this and get it up there. There'll be another Vise turned up from somewhere, but I don't think I've got any more Vices. I think this is it. Alright guys, as I say, if you let me know which is your favourite amongst this lot here in the comments down below. Yeah. Wow, nice collection of Vices. Some of them I've had for a long time. Pops has had this one for I don't know how long. Funny little thing this one. Little cast iron Vise. Strange thing that one. Don't know why he got that one for, but there you go. He liked his tools as much as I do, I think. Alright then guys, well thanks for popping over. Thanks for taking a look at the Vices, and I will catch you back here at Rathbone Manor in sometime in the very near future then. Thanks for watching.